Hello everyone, Chris here, pointing for United People's TV, with another weekly loan watch for you. Now, last week I reported on several injuries, so I'm just going to give you a quick recap on our loan players, who's injured and who's fit to start off with. James Wilson, injured. He's been sent home from Derby County after that really horrific knee injury he suffered last week, so he's back at Manchester United, undergoing surgery, and he's going to be rehabilitated by the club's medical staff, so get well soon, James. Varela at Eintracht Frankfurt also has a knee injury, not as serious as Wilson, but he's actually still at Eintracht Frankfurt undergoing rehabilitation there, and they're hoping he's going to be back for December, January time in order to play the rest of the season. But the other three players that we sent out on loan are all fit. So let's start with Cameron Borthwick-Jackson at Wolves. Now, it's been an interesting time for Borthwick-Jackson. It's been a tough time for him as well, because he's not been getting any games at Wolves. He did get a game at the weekend, though, when Wolves played Blackburn Rovers, and they drew 1-1, and he started the game at left-back, and he started the game quite slowly, but he grew into it, which you can kind of expect, considering he hasn't played for weeks. And maybe one of the reasons he hasn't played in the last few weeks is because Wolves was under the guidance of Walter Zenga, and Walter Zenga may not have really rated Borthwick-Jackson that much. But the main news coming out of Wolves last week is that Zenga's been sacked. So, and they haven't appointed a new manager yet. So it'll be interesting to see who's going to come in. It looks like Nigel Pearson might get the job. So it'll be interesting if Pearson or someone else gets the position, where they think, if they rate Borthwick-Jackson. I think it's always tricky when a player goes on a season-long loan and then a manager gets sacked. You almost think, oh, you know, is the new manager that's going to come in going to play me often? So I'll keep an eye on that situation, because there was talk of him coming back to Manchester United, but I think now that, you know, a new manager's going to come in, we'll see. I think he's not been playing too badly, so fingers crossed. Borthwick-Jackson keeps his place in the starting lineup, no matter who's in charge of Wolves. Let's move on to Andreas Pereira at Granada. Now, Granada this weekend faced arguably what I would think would be their toughest game of the season, which was away at the Nou Camp to Barcelona. You know, any team that goes to Barcelona, you know, if you get a point at the Nou Camp, you're happy. So Granada went into this game, everyone expecting them to get absolutely battered. They did lose, but they only lost 1-0. And Pereira started out on the left wing. I think Granada played a 5-4-1 formation, so they really played defensive. And despite losing 1-0, they defended superbly. It's probably their best defensive display of the season. Unfortunately, though, you know, Pereira got subbed off after 60 minutes. They wanted to... By that stage, they were 1 down, so it was almost like they tried to change it to get back in the game. It didn't really work, so the game finished 1-0, which leaves Granada still bottom of La Liga, still without a win. But I suppose it's a tough situation for Granada. The only positive I can say is that Pereira's getting game time. He's a regular in their first team. He's getting game time week after week after week. Out of all our loan players, I think he's the one who's progressing the most, even though he's not playing for the best team, he, as an individual, will learn a lot from this experience, and especially because he's playing so much as well. Now let's move on to Adnan Januzaj at Sunderland. Of course, he had ankle ligament damage, but he's recovered and he's now fully fit. And he was on the bench for Sunderland's game at home to Arsenal at the weekend. It was 1-1 with around 70 minutes to go, and they brought Adnan Januzaj on, and then Sunderland lost 4-1. But it's not Januzaj's fault. It's not that they looked at Januzaj and thought, oh bloody hell, he's coming on. You know, and the morale of the team just shot down. You know, it was nothing to do with Januzaj. It was just another defensive capitulation by Sunderland, really. And that means that Sunderland have suffered the worst start of any team to a Premier League season. Which I find quite amazing, because that's including Derby County of around 8 years ago, who were truly terrible. But this Sunderland team, if I'm David Moyes, I'm worried. I'm really worried for this team. But now that Januzaj's fit, he might get a few more games for them. He was on the subs bench, so he wasn't starting. And I feel for him, and I feel for Moyes, and I feel for Sunderland as well, because they're in trouble. They're in real trouble. Anyway, that's all I've got time for Loan Watch this week. Leave your comments in below. Subscribe to United People's TV. And take care, everyone. See you later.